on to you, Aries out here? So you have the Six of Cups, the King of Wands, and then you have the Knight of Swords. So a lot of you are in a position where obviously this person is coming back in, trying to get back in good. This person will not leave you alone because once again, they look stupid because a lot of you Aries are bringing in value, right? And I've talked about this before that, Aries can bring in good value. It's not like Aries is just sitting down, not doing anything. Y'all are ruled by Mars. So y'all going to get up and make something shake. And so because of that, and probably because a lot of y'all look good. I know a lot of Aries that be looking good. Yo, we not going to go there. But, of course, they're going to come back, because they squandered the opportunity to really be with you. They messed that up, dealing with their own inflated sense of importance. And it backfired, as it usually does. Like no one who thinks from the perspective they do is going to really prosper. It's not going to happen because the Knight of Wands and, the King of Wands, and the Knight of Swords represents, they reached out to you, talking to you, right? And you Aries are listening to what they have to say. But, maybe they may have even sent a text message. It wasn't a very long one. Maybe they called you. It wasn't a very long phone call. Kind of told you, they want to connect, ask you what you're about. Maybe they didn't even address the argument. Maybe they just tried to move forward. And again, the Lovers and the Ace of Cups, when it is that you Aries got off the phone, you Aries probably, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, when you're like, you just watch the text message, probably thinking to yourself that, you Aries know too much to ever go back, and that you just see this as another test. I've talked about this before. We're in a Mercury retrograde until next week, until the 11th. So, until Sunday, I think. Yeah, because no, today is Tuesday. Okay, so until the ending of, until next Tuesday, basically. So the 11th is the last day for the Mercury retrograde that we are experiencing, and then we'll move forward on the 12th, which is next week, right? And so because of that, right, during Mercury retrogrades, people are viable to come back, reach back out. I've had tons of people contact me during Mercury retrogrades, stuff like that. And so the situation with that is that for you Aries, right, this is nothing new. This is just Mercury retrograde affecting you too, and so a lot of you, them trying to get back in, but I'm here to tell you Aries, even if you were to let them come back in, it probably wouldn't even last long due to the fact that a lot of the connections in Mercury retrogrades that are made or rekindled don't last a lot of the times. Most times they don't last because during the Mercury retrograde, relationships are frail. They're weak around this time. And so if you are not tight like glue with someone, whether it's romantically, familial wise, or whether it's, friendship wise, something like this, or some sort of business deal, whatever, if however you get along, whatever your relationship is to another person, if it's not tight like glue, right, Mercury retrogrades will literally test those things, put those things to the test, to see if the connection that you have between yourself and another person is really real. And so a lot of you Aries just looked at the phone. Maybe they called you, maybe they text messaged you. A lot of you Aries just looked at the phone and was like, this essentially, this is just, it's not even a victory. It's not a loss. It's not a victory. It just is what it is, because you Aries are just experienced. What are you expected to do about this person coming back? Jump for joy and just jump for any kind of attention that this person gives to you? Well, no, because you Aries are not dogs. So because of that, and then you Aries You've been through experiences, you've learned a lot, and you just know this is one of those times where they messed up. More than likely they didn't learn. More than likely they never will learn. So now it's a situation where they're coming back in, but they still have a lot of internal work to do. They have to heal their heart. They have to figure out what is going on with them, where it is that they can't seem to be in a stable relationship. They know that, you Aries may be, the right person for them, or they may like you a lot, but at the same time, they have to figure out what is going on with them in which they are so afraid of. And so the thing is that the Three of Swords, the High Priestess, the Three of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Seven of Pentacles right here for you represent how a lot of you Aries, so you're leaving it where it is. You Aries are doing the wise thing, which is for you to leave it where it is. Don't even strive to make this connection back, because you already had the connection once before, and obviously the two of you are not compatible. So a lot of you Aries you're not trying to reinvent the wheel by trying to go back together with them and see what happens. You know what will happen. You're going to break up. And so the High Priestess and the Seven of Pentacles represents, you just wish that this person would leave you alone, right? But at the same time, again, you're probably, this is what I meant when I going back to the last Aries reading, you're the best that they ever had. Like it, again, like you will get forever stalkers based upon that. Like I've been talking about, right? If let me explain something to you. Like, people act really weird when it comes to love. Like, I know from personal experience, like people act really weird when it comes to love. Really weird. When it comes to love, it's really, a lot of people act really weird because you will show someone that you care about them, right? And there's so many factors that go into play because they may not really be healed. They may be dysfunctional. And what's happening here is that you may be the most well-rounded person they will ever meet in their life, but they don't know how to communicate that. They are stuck. They cannot move emotionally. They can't move mentally. They can't move spiritually. They can't move. They are scared to make a move with you because of that. They're so accustomed to playing games. They are accustomed to that, but they're not accustomed to that. They're not accustomed to your brand of love. They're not accustomed to, how many times people like just, just clicked off like a toy robot. Just like, how when you flip the switch, how the toy robot just powers down. That's what happened. Like there's so many people that, cared for, romantically showed love for, and they just couldn't do it. They weren't mad, but they just, it's not like I did anything wrong. I don't think it was them being mad at me or anything. They just couldn't do it. They just couldn't function. They literally just stopped working like a toy, or like a toy that you may have flicked off the power button to or something like that. They just couldn't do it. And so that's the thing, is that you Aries just have this experience. You know that they're going to do that same thing. So the Seven of Pentacles, you want someone that is anti-fragile, that performs, that shows up for you, right? That isn't going to power off. You feel me? Someone that's going to meet you, that you want to meet your match. And so the thing is that the Empress and the Nine of Wands right here represents how, because you Aries want to meet your match, you don't have time anymore for their nonsense. They're not the right one. They're not them. You know, and then the value that you bring to the table too. You may bring a lot of value to the table if you want to, but I suggest you do. But you may bring a lot of value to the table, and because you bring value to the table, the person having a difficult time, hard time dealing with that, they don't know how to compensate, stuff like this. You feel me? They don't know how to compensate for stuff like that. You know, they don't know how to ask you what would be a good idea to be able to meet you halfway, to make you feel welcome, to make you feel like you're not just hanging out with like a goofy. You feel me? You know, and they may, and truth be told, Aries, truth be told, they may not really be experienced at doing that, because like I said, they turn off, or you flick the switch that had them turn off. Real talk. You ever seen, like, for instance, you Aries ever seen them types of people or been in them types of instances where you're like, hey, what's up? What's going on with you? And you're so kind to the person just stops talking to you. In the middle of a text message, just stops talking to you. It's not what you think. Part of it is, yeah, you know, part of it is you would have thought that, oh, you just talking and, you know, blabbering your mouth or whatever the case may be. But a lot of it is they don't know what to do about that. They don't know what to say about that. They don't know what to do. A lot of it is they don't know what to do about that. So they just simply say nothing. And so that's what's going on here. You saying nothing because you know it's coming. What's coming is it's going to start off a couple of days cool, and then y'all going to go right back to not talking again, and it's going to be on and off. You Aries don't have time to waste. You know, you're looking for, you may be looking for someone, but you have too much self-respect to keep going through the rigmarole over and over again of the same thing. And so you pass the test. You pass the test because this is what Mercury retrograde does. It sends people that you used to know in your life, and if right, as in the form of exes and stuff like this, or like people whom you're familiar with, because it's testing your familiarity, right? It's testing your strength. It's testing your weakness. Are you strong? Are you weak? What happens when this one and that one comes back? Because you really like this person, but they're goofy. They're a goof troop. What happens now? And so now it's like, a lot of people would be like, well, I'm glad that they got the person back. Yeah, but at the same time too, it's also a catch-22, because it's only a matter of time before the person starts acting up again, disappears, and then they may or may not come back, and then you're scratching your head thinking, what just happened? And that becomes the cycle over and over and over again. And it gets like that either until whatever, indefinitely, right? Or until you stop it. You've been through enough and you're like, you know what, stop, XYZ, and you actually stand your ground and move forward forever. It used to happen to me all the time. Like, feel me? I just wanted to be in a relationship with them or know them, right? And they'd come back, act like they cool, be on the same goofy nonsense, and then I didn't heal. And then now it would just make it worse, because now the person's trying to act like they've recovered, which they didn't. But then I was the one who was wilding out and everything. It wasn't for me. So I just excommunicated the people whom I knew, because they not gonna get off the stupidness. And it's the same thing for you. So let's clarify the Nine of Wands and let's get out of here. The Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, the Knight of Wands, the Moon card, and then you have the Devil card to clarify the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. Again, like the two of you are not compatible. Y'all have said and done things to one another. You Aries have essentially, you've done what you're supposed to. You've probably apologized. If you didn't, this is probably a good time for you to apologize. brush that off your shoulder. But you Aries just know too much now. And you know that this is a test. That's what this is. It's a test, right? If you don't pass this test, then you'll have to deal with this person, because people leave you alone. So a lot of the people leave you alone. Some people don't, but a lot of people leave you alone. But you have to move on emotionally. Because a lot of the people that would come back, they stopped bothering me. But that was after I showed them just how serious I am and was and still am about not having them in my life, because they come here and then they pull a bunch of stupidity. It's like, how old are you? And you pulling this, and you desperately trying to get me to come to you, right? When it's like, I'm real talk, I'm really trying to be honorable. I'm really thinking about how to move, how to play this situation. And I don't mean play in the sense of play mind games. I mean from an aspect of what do I do in this situation? And yet you applying all this pressure, and I'm trying to respect you, right? Only for you to be like, no, this is what you want. You want to cross that boundary into relationship and romantic, then for you to dip. Like, it's just goofy, right? Or they start acting up, and they always specifically act up when I would allow them to come in. And it's like that's very convenient how you only play the donkey when this happens. It's almost as if you are aware that you're doing this. It's like you are. And so that's what's happening, right? The moon card and the devil card for you, Aries, just speaks to how, like, you're deciding that this is the last time that this person will ever have communication with you. You're either so I'm seeing some of you Aries are either gonna permanently block them, or after a certain time, if their number is still in your phone and the block numbers, you'll just delete it, because at that time so much time will pass, they just don't think that you'll ever get back together with them anymore, or they'll just text and call and you just won't say anything ever to them at all. So that's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. I am at 24,940 subscribers. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. Like I said before, hit that notification bell, set that notification bell to all, so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. If you'd like to come through and get a personal reading from me, the link to that is in the comment section below, called the Linktree link. Everything from readings, books that I have that are on Amazon. Go ahead and get some of those. And the Kareemspiritworks clothing, right, from the Teespring store. I have an app coming out as well. Not gonna discuss it yet. It's finishing up. It's finishing up. Just needs a couple of more days, but I'll see. I'll keep y'all posted. Peace.